Good day, tourism learners at home. In front of you is Tobile Mabuza, a tourism teacher from the Gauteng East District. Today, our topic is going to be about tourism attractions. Our first one is going to be factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction. And the second one is going to be the characteristics of a successful tourist attraction. So please do not confuse these with factors contributing to the professional image of it in the tourism industry. No, we are dealing with the factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction, and we're also going to be dealing with the characteristics of a successful tourist attraction. Hope you enjoy this lesson because I'm going to be presenting it so nicely. I'm actually in the mood for this lesson, so please tune in, pay attention, listen, learn. The lesson objectives. As a tourism learner, by the end of the lesson, you should know the following 8 factors. So the factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction are 8. Excellent marketing of tourism products locally and internationally is the first factor that contributes to the success of a tourist attraction. The second one is the sustainable and responsible management plans. The third one is efficiency and ethical behavior. Efficiency and ethical behavior of staff and management. And our fourth one is positive experience of visitors. And our fifth one is safety and crime prevention. Still continuing with the lesson objectives, you should also learn about the general appearance and upkeep of the attraction. Considering the needs of people with disabilities, you should also consider universal access, and you should know the advantages of applying these factors in an attraction or icon, sites, or operations. You should know the disadvantages of failing to apply these factors in an attraction, icon, sites, or operations. Then, as a tourism learner, by the end of the lesson, you should be able to know the 4 characteristics. The actual number of visitors exceeds the target number of visitors. The second characteristics would be repeat visits. The third would be income generated exceeds target figures. The fourth one would be positive impacts on the local community and environment. Now, I'm about to do something. Remember, what's our topic? Our topic is factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction. So on the screen, you can see that we've got images. It's a collage of the different icons that you learned about in grade 12 for 2020. So then again, I've brought this to class because we cannot only just rely on the screen all the time. So ma'am brought these to class. Teacher ma'am brought these to class. I just want you to think, if we were to use all these resources to ensure that our attraction becomes successful, would this be sufficient? Would this be sufficient? Do you think this would be sufficient, Sibu, Tandi? Do you think this would be sufficient if we want to reach so many people across the world to ensure that our attraction becomes successful? Would these brochures be good and so on? Would this magazine be sufficient in ensuring that our attraction becomes successful? Well, I don't think so, but there's a lot more that you can do besides using these as means of marketing your attraction for it in being successful. So what I want to clarify to you there at home is that over here on the board, I've got those icons, which are world icons, that will be used particularly in this question, which would be question 4, when you are being asked about the factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction. So this would be considered as a form of an attraction. Your Alcazar, Segovia, your Chichen Itza, your Colosseum, your Auschwitz, they would be considered as attractions, but we know that they are icons. But when this particular question is asked in the exam, they mainly use icons, but they can also use South African World Heritage Sites as examples to ask this question, but it's in particular they use icons to test whether you understand the factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction. And then the activities that you do, you should make listening notes, you should replay recorded or downloaded, recorded or downloaded recordings of the broadcast. You should be able to make concept map or mind map summaries which are easy to study. You should be able to work through past papers, questions, especially their marking guidelines, and compare the answers of more than one exam question to see how the same content is assessed differently. Now, my favorite parts. Factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction. In other words, what can tourist attractions or icons or sites do to make sure that the attraction or icon becomes successful? So what are we doing? Factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction. What can our tourist attractions do to ensure that they become successful? How many factors are we having in this particular case? We're having 8 factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. The first one is excellent marketing of tourism products locally and internationally. More reason why I brought these brochures, these magazines in class, so that you are able to see when we talk about marketing. And then the first one was excellent marketing of tourism products locally and internationally. Tourist attractions need to market, to advertise, to promote their products locally using platforms like the Tourism Trade Show, Africa's Travel Indaba, which is used locally. And you can use trade shows like the International Travel Exchange Berlin, the ITB, and the World Travel Market, the WTM. Not the WTB, but the WTM, to market the tourist attraction internationally. We can make use of billboards, television advertising, social media, etc. The marketing strategy used internationally and locally must make the tourist attraction stand out from all the other available attraction options from the competitors. The marketing strategy used must stimulate visitor numbers as well as sustain travel during peak season and low season. This will contribute in helping the attraction in becoming successful. So when we advertise as an attraction, you should not just advertise petty advertising. It should be excellent. That's what our first factor says. It says excellent marketing of tourism products locally and internationally. So when we market our tourism products locally, it should be in an excellent manner. International should be in an excellent manner. And you've got various platforms that we use to market our tourist attractions. Locally, we've got the Travel Indaba, and internationally, we've got the International Travel Exchange Berlin, ITB, or we've also got the World Travel Market, WTM. The B there's just an error. It is WTM. The marketing strategy, guys, the marketing strategy is how you're going to reach out to your potential tourists out there. It should be the marketing strategy used internationally and locally should stand out. It must be unique. You need to offer a different experience through your marketing. And then if your attraction actually practices excellent marketing of tourism products locally and internationally, the tourist attraction will become successful. Remember, we are dealing with the factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. And then we've got the images that are relating to the marketing of tourist attractions locally and internationally. We've got we have the billboard here. And then we've also got the Travel Exchange, the ITB in Berlin. You can see that is where people come together, like different tourism businesses come together in different countries, and they exhibit, they promote their attractions as tourist destinations. In this case, if South African tourism was to want to promote South Africa as a tourist destination, they would have to attend the ITB in Berlin and exhibit what us as South Africa have got to offer tourists from international countries, what kind of tourism products we have. So then we've also got our TV advertising that can be used, and we've also got the ITB in Berlin, which I've spoken about, and we've also got billboards. Then we've also got here an image of travel trade show over here. So you can see here that South African tourism is having its own stall. South African tourism is having its own stall, but this one's from a local municipality, particular attraction, where they are promoting their tourism product. This is probably at the Tourism Indaba. And then over here, I've got the picture of the Indaba, which is one of the travel trade shows that are used to promote attractions as tourist destinations. Then remember that you can also use YouTube, Flickr, Twitter, Facebook, and the World Travel Markets as a form of marketing. The second factor is sustainable and responsible management plans. If you want your attraction to be successful, it must sustain in order for an attraction to be successful, it must sustain the environment by making use of sustainable and responsible management plans. The attraction must sustain the natural environment. It can be the cultural environment. It can be the social environment. It can be the financial environment, or any environment in which the business operates. Remember that the tourism or an attraction is highly dependent on the environment for existence. And then from a financial aspect, the attraction needs to generate responsible management plans with regards to finances of the attraction. These would be aspects such as the budgets, inflation, and tax laws. The plans should include an environmental plan, financial plans, developing strategies, and identifying projects that will help sustain the attraction and contribute to its success. And then we've got images that are relating to sustainable and responsible management plans that you can have in your attraction there. You can see one of my favorite ones is the one with the earth with a thermometer in the mouth, meaning that the earth is not so well, and could be that money now is being lost because the earth is not so. So it's important to have sustainable and responsible management plans. But taking you back, guys, I want you to understand that when we are talking about sustainable and responsible management plans, I'm not just referring to the natural environment, but remember, I'm referring to the natural environments, the cultural environments, the social environment, the financial environment. So it's not just about nature. So a business is dependent on those environments for existence. And all those plans, those sustainable, responsible plans, it's meaning that your financial plan is to be sustainable and responsible. Your natural environment plan is to be sustainable and responsible. Your cultural environment plan is to be sustainable and responsible. Your financial plan needs to be sustainable and responsible. And any management plans that you have in place need to be sustainable and responsible. So please do not hammer a lot and maybe say sustainable and responsible management plans has got to do with the natural environments only. Remember, it's got to do with the natural environments, the cultural environment, the social environments, the financial environment. And remember that our financial environment deals with aspects such as the budgets, inflation, and tax laws. And then we've got the third factor, which is efficiency and ethical behavior of the staff and management. In order for the attraction to be successful, the staff and the management must perform their duties efficiently and behave in an ethical manner. So if you want your attraction to be successful, your staff and the management must perform their duties efficiently, and they need to behave in an ethical manner. And then good staff training and induction of new staff makes it easy for staff and management to be efficient and behave ethically. And then images relating to efficiency and ethical management of the staff over here. Guys, you can see we've got pictures over here. I think it's employees from Gold City with a tourist, and they seem quite happy. And we've also got the Sand Park staff. We talk about efficiency and ethical behavior. And we've got other images that actually try to display efficiency and ethical behavior. You can see that whatever these workers are doing, they do it with a smile, they do it with passion, they do it with ethics in their mind, that they are actually executing their jobs to the best of their abilities. And then our fourth factor, remember we've got 8 factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. In order for an attraction to be successful, visitors must have a positive experience when visiting the attraction. Positive visitor experience, guys, it's not just about tourists or a visitor enjoying themselves at an attraction, but it also entails controlling the visitor numbers are controlled, opening hours are convenient, the pricing is convenient, pathways are clear and convenient, and the signage is clearly displayed, and informative brochures and leaflets are available. That all accumulates and leads to a positive visitor experience. This may lead to visitors coming again or recommend the attraction to others. A positive visitor experience contributes to the success of a tourist attraction. So a positive visitor experience, guys, it's not just about a tourist having fun there. Yes, it is about him having fun, having a memorable, pleasurable experience. But in order to have a positive visitor experience, the attraction itself needs to ensure that the visitors' numbers are controlled, the opening hours are convenient, the pricing is right, the pathways and the signage on those pathways is clearly displayed, and there are information brochures that are available for visitors to access. And all that leads to a positive visitor experience. So it is very important that if you as an attraction want to achieve a positive visitor experience, you need to ensure that all those details, visitor numbers, opening hours, pricing, pathways, and signage are all up to par so that your visitors have a positive visitor experience. A positive visitor experience contributes to the success of a tourist attraction. Then this is an image relating to the positive visitor experience. You can see she's there by the Eiffel Tower, and we all know that when the thumbs are up, most of the time means that all is well and she's having fun. That means that there is a positive visitor experience, and that is one of the factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. The fifth one is safety and crime prevention. Safety and crime prevention is very important, guys, if you want your attraction to be successful. Remember, what are we doing? We are doing the factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. If the attraction wants to be successful, it needs to make safety and crime prevention at the tourist attraction a priority. If you visit an attraction, guys, you want to feel safe. You want to see that there are measures there that relates to safety and crime prevention. So if you want your attraction to be successful, make sure that on top of your list, safety and crime prevention is there. Example, do not make use of signs. You need to make use of signs like do not swim in the dam. And when you see that sign, do not test or question that sign. If the sign says do not swim in the dam, do not swim in the dam, because that is for your own safety. So you cannot blame the attraction and say they did not ensure the safety of a certain tourist. No. The guidelines were there, the rules were there, that they said do not swim in the dam, meaning that that particular attraction is adhering to safety and crime prevention principles. Do not feed the animals. Those are there for a reason. When they say do not feed the animals, it's not just to say that the animals will be sick. You also stand a risk of being injured as a tourist. So you must know that those rules are there for you as a tourist, and they are there to ensure your safety, and they are there to prove that that particular attraction is adhering to safety and crime prevention. So if an attraction wants to be successful, they need to ensure that safety and crime prevention is at the top of their list. You can also ensure safety and crime prevention by having barriers. These barriers will prevent access, intruders, or any elements placed in the attraction, and all this will enhance safety and crime prevention in an attraction. Tourists will feel safe at the attraction. The safety of tourists is highly important. Guys, a number of times we've seen on the media, maybe you've heard that a certain tourist was killed by a lion, or a certain tourist was injured by a lion. All of that, at the end of the day, it reflects negatively on the attraction, because it ends up seeming like that particular attraction did not prioritize on safety and crime prevention at their particular attraction. So guys, safety and crime prevention needs to be at the top priority of any attraction. This will assist the attraction in becoming a successful tourist attraction. Then we have images that are relating to safety and crime prevention. Over here, we can see safety first. I always say safety first or nothing. Safety comes first. And then over here, we've got the Eiffel Tower, and we've also got the do's and don'ts. And you can see that by the Eiffel Tower, there's There's gates over there. There's like a barricade preventing access and controlling access. Over here by the London Bridge, you've also got barricades over here. And then over here, we've got police. Police are actually trying to indicate that safety and crime prevention is existence. And we've also got the closed circuit television cameras, which you might sometimes refer to as CCTV. And then the sixth factor is the general appearance and upkeep of an attraction. If an attraction wants to be successful, facilities must be well maintained and the attraction must be kept neat, clean, and tidy. What? Well maintained, neat, clean, and tidy. So if you want your attraction to be successful, you need to consider the general appearance and the upkeep of this attraction. Maintenance of facilities must be done on a regular basis. A good general appearance and upkeep of the attraction will contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. And if you look here at the various icons or attractions that I have on this particular slide, you will see the Taj Mahal. Guys, just look at the garden. I know you learners at home, I know you are watching, and I know that the moment I said Taj Mahal, you paid attention because I know that the learners love the Taj Mahal. And then we've got the Leaning Tower of Pisa. We can see that it's so beautiful. There's upkeep. As tilt as it is, you can see that the garden there, the upkeep of the attraction is on point. And then we've got here the Constitution Hill over here in the corner. That is also very important. You can see the upkeep, guys, the general upkeep. It's neat. You know, because first impressions last, you know. Like when you look at the Taj Mahal, I even can't stop talking about that. You can actually see that the general upkeep, well maintained, kept neat and tidy. This particular attraction meets all these requirements for an attraction to be successful. Considering the needs of people with disabilities, that is our seventh factor. Remember, we've got 8 factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction. In order for an attraction to be successful, it must accommodate and be accessible to people with disabilities, such as those in wheelchairs, those who are visually impaired or communications impaired. Examples of these would be having a ramp access around the attraction, escalators or elevators, bigger letter signage, sign language interpreters, and braille facilities or braille user-friendly facilities to use at attractions. This is our 7th factor, considering the needs of people with disabilities. Guys, tourism or attraction should accommodate a wide number of people. And people living with disabilities, their needs need to be considered. So when you have an attraction, also remember that you need to consider their needs. And then images of relating to considering the needs of people with disabilities. We can see that we've got a ramp access there. We've got the wheelchair icon. We've got the sign language, which is very, very important. And we've got the man there taking a shower. He's in a wheelchair. We need to consider all those things when you have an attraction. We've also got the braille as an example. And then the 8th factor is universal access. When we talk about universal meaning, we're talking about everyone should have access to an attraction. In order for an attraction to be successful, it needs to consider that people or tourists have different needs. It needs to be accessible to a wide range of tourists. For example, brochures at a tourist attraction should be written in such a way that adults, children, local and international tourists can understand the information appearing on the brochures. Eating tables with chairs for children, for parents traveling with children, public transport facilities in and out of the attraction, supports facilities such as prayer rooms, baby changing pods, baby feeding pods, family restrooms, accommodation, transports, and information. If an attraction wants to be successful, it needs to be universally accessible to everyone. These are images relating to universal access. You will see that we've got the prayer room by St. Parks. We've got the family restroom. You can see the mother, the child, the father, and the other member of the family in a wheelchair. We've got the nappy changing facilities. The taxis relate to transports in and out of the attraction. We've got the Cape Point Explorer. And over here, we've got an information desk. And we've got a baby changing pod. And we've also got the cable trail there by Table Mountain. All that forms part of universal accessibility. Now, I want to take us back to considering the needs of people with disabilities. Guys, considering the needs of people with disabilities, this seventh factor will focus only on considering the needs of people with disabilities. I hope you understand me at home. Sando, are you paying attention? Ma'am is trying to clarify these two factors. The one considering the needs of people with disabilities, and the eighth one, universal access. So please pay attention. So when you talk about considering the needs of people with disabilities, we are referring to those with disabilities only, considering their needs. Am I understood? Then when we talk about universal access, and if you look at my pictures there by considering the needs of people with disabilities, I'm just focused on the disabilities. But when I talk about universal access, I'm now referring to everyone. Those with disabilities are accommodated. Those with different social classes are accommodated. Those who are traveling with children, parents are accommodated. Senior citizens, when I talk about senior citizens, I'm referring to our pensioners at home, those who are age of 60 and above 65. Those are our senior citizens. When I talk about our people from different backgrounds, they also need to be accommodated. People from different religions, they need to be accommodated. So universal access is about considering everyone. Universal access is like, it considers the people living with disabilities. It considers the senior citizens. It considers the families that are traveling with their children. It considers different types of people with different beliefs from different social backgrounds. So when we talk about universal accessibility, we are ensuring that our attraction is accessible to everyone, be it that person has disability. They'll also be regarded under universal access. So, but the seventh factor, the one with considering the needs of people with disabilities, will be dealing with the disabilities only. Then universal access also includes people with disabilities. So please be careful, ne? I'm begging you, ne? Just be careful on that one. But then let's look at the images again. The reason why I'm saying that it does consider, universal access now encapsulates everyone. Everyone is included. The one with the family and the wheelchair-bound tourist, the family restroom, that one actually explains that now universal access is about including everyone and everything, and the attraction is accessible by everyone. Disability or no disability, you are accommodated. Old or young, you are accommodated. Different religions, you are accommodated. Access to information is available under universal accessibility. But with considering the needs of people with disabilities, the focus is on just considering the needs of people with disabilities and nothing else. But universal access has everyone catered for in that particular attraction. So if an attraction wants to be successful, they need to ensure that they are universally accessible. That will contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. This is another image that's relating to the universal accessibility. We can see over here. I love this. I don't want to lie. I love this image because it explains universal accessibility, that everyone is accommodated. We've got the person in the wheelchair. We've got the little girl there. We've got the lady with her guide dog. We've got someone over here with a walking stick, the lady. And we've also got her male there. So you see, it accommodates. I just love universal accessibility. So if you want your attraction to be successful, you need to ensure that the attraction is universally accessible to everyone. And then, as I've hammered on, I'm just going to go through this quickly. Universal accessibility considers the needs of people with disabilities, meeting and exceeding their requirements, but everyone else is accommodated through facilities most likely to meet their needs, regardless of social class, ethnicity, and ancestry. Universal accessibility encourages attractions to accommodate senior citizens and families traveling with children. I've explained that. I've hammered on it. Universal accessibility includes everyone, while considering the needs of people with disabilities only includes people living with disabilities. Now, benefits for that takes me to the end of the 8 factors. So I've done the 8 factors, I've put them on the table. You should know them, you should be able to apply them, you should be able to recommend them if maybe in the exam you're asked a question as to how you can what factors are used, or to mention factors that will be used that can ensure an attraction becomes successful. Now you should be asking yourself, but ma'am, what are the benefits for attractions making use of these factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction? Well, you'll see here on the screen, I've mentioned them. If you ensure that your attraction, if you want to ensure that your attraction is successful, these are the benefits. You will have an increase in the number of tourists. More tourists will visit the attraction. You'll have an increase in tourism revenue. When I talk about revenue, I'm talking about the money that you would have made from from your particular attraction, the profits. You'll have an increase in the multiplier effect due to the increase in the tourism revenue and the tourist expenditure. When I talk about tourist expenditure, I'm referring to how much the tourists are actually spending when they're at an attraction. That's a good thing. So don't be confused when you hear the word tourist expenditure and say, but when the tourists are having an expenditure, it's a bad thing. No, we're actually talking about the tourist expenditure is a good thing, because that means tourists are spending more on goods and services, meals at the attractions, and that money is used by other people to pay for other things. And remember that particular concept, we refer to it, that term, we call it the multiplier effect. If the attraction is more jobs are created. So if you use these 8 factors, with more tourists coming to attraction, more jobs are created. The attraction is taken care of, well maintained due to increase in revenue. If all 8 factors are used at an attraction, the attraction's popularity increases amongst tourists, which results to an increase in demand to visit the attraction. So if all the 8 factors, guys, are used, your attraction will be successful, because you have not left any factor unattended. You did excellent marketing. You did sustainable and responsible management plans. You did considering the needs of people with disabilities. You did safety and crime prevention. You even did, what's the other one? You even did universal access, sustainable and responsible management plans. So what I'm trying to say to you, that if you use all the 8 factors, your attraction will be successful. It's going to gain popularity. Tourists will come to your attraction. So it's very important that if you want your attraction to be successful, make use of the 8 factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. Now I move on to the characteristics of a successful tourist attraction. In other words, I'm saying, how do we know that an attraction is now successful? How do we know that an attraction or icon or site is now successful? I am referring to the characteristics of a successful tourist attraction. So it's important, guys, to be able to know your factors separately and say, these are my factors and these are my characteristics. Factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction. Actually, what we are saying is, what are the measures that an attraction can take to be successful? With characteristics, we are saying, now how do we know that an attraction is now successful? After using those 8 factors, we need to check now, are we successful? And when we are successful, what becomes evidence? What do we see? So now we are dealing with the characteristics of a successful tourist attraction. And how many characteristics do I have under characteristics of a successful tourist attraction? I have 4 characteristics. While the factors I had 8. Characteristics I have 4. The first one is the actual number of visitors exceeds the target number of visitors. An attraction is successful when the actual number of visitors exceeds the targeted number of visitors. I repeat, and slowly so. An attraction is successful when the actual number of visitors exceeds the targeted number of visitors. An example would be, if the target was 500 visitors, but 1,000 visitors actually visited the attraction, then the attraction could be regarded as being successful. So if you look at my image, I've got actual visitors. Then I've got those people in pink, orange, and yellow. And when I count them, it's 5 people. Then on the other side, I've got the greater than sign. Then on the other side, I've got the target number of visitors, and they're in a hand. That hand was used for a purpose. Those hands were used for a purpose to actually emphasize that this was the targeted number. And we can see that from that picture, there are 3 people. 3 people was the targeted number. But now the actual visitors, there were 5. So what I'm trying to explain in this particular image is that when we talk about the actual visitors numbers exceeding target number of visitors, the actual visitors are greater than what we had targeted. The ones in green, in pink, yellow, orange, those ones are actually the actual visitors. And how many are they? I said they are 5. Then in the next one is the 2 hands. Those hands, remember what Ma'am said, they are used deliberately to emphasize that this was the target. So with these hands, we can actually tell that the attraction had targeted 3 visitors, but now they got 5 visitors. Now we know that that attraction is successful because the actual number of visitors exceeds the target number of visitors. The second characteristic that actually shows or displays that an attraction is now successful is when the visitors visit the attraction and have a positive visitor experience. They will want to do a repeat visit and spread the positive word of mouth to other people. Then they also come to the attraction and do a repeat visit too. So when you repeat a visit, you do it again and 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 again. And when that happens, you know that your attraction is successful because you are having repeat visits. And repeat visits are created through a positive visitor experience. And remember that the positive visitor experience was explained there in the factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction, that a positive visitor experience is important because now we know that under characteristics, once a visitor has had a positive visitor experience, it leads to a repeat visit. So once you have repeat visits, you know that your attraction is successful because it has repeat visits. People came over and 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 over again. And what does that mean? More money, more money, more money, more money, more money. What does that mean? More success, more success, more success, more success for the tourist attraction. And then income generated exceeds target figures. If the income made by the attraction exceeds the targeted income, example, if the target is 3.5 million rands, but the attraction generated 4 million rands, it is successful. Now, I love these images because these images are actually explaining something. You see the first one is that person standing against the target board. And you can see he's wearing a tie. And that tie communicates that this person is a professional within the tourism industry. And that target board, it indicates that when we see those 3 dots, that dots board, that means that that was the targeted income. That is where they were hammering. They were hammering there in the middle on that red dot to indicate that our target is 3.5 million and we've always received 3.5 million. But hey, guess what? Now that they've exceeded their targets and they've got 4 million and they made 4 million rands, it indicates that that attraction is successful. Now, more money, more money, more money, more money, more money. So when we receive more money, more money, more money, it means that they have exceeded, meaning that the income generated exceeds the target figures. What was the targeted figures, the targeted income? It was 3.5. But now, the generated income, the money that they made, was actually more than 3.5. It was 4 million. And what does that mean? More money, more money, more money. Then we know that that particular attraction is successful. Money, 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 money. Now, the fourth one would be positive impact on the local community and the environment. A successful tourist attraction will benefit the local community in terms of job creation, skills development, cultural pride, and corporate social responsibility programs. Then the attraction is a successful tourist attraction. So over here you can see an image. This particular image where there's like a screen projecting a hammer and a spanner and a graduation tassel. That is about skills development. The donation box actually represents corporate social responsibility, meaning that if an attraction is successful, it will contribute to the local community. It will develop a community socially. So let's say we are having a hotel that is located maybe near a certain school, and a certain school that is offering tourism as a subject. If maybe they donate certain money for learners to be able maybe to go on a certain trip, or donation in terms of anything, maybe the feeding scheme at school, or donation for the school to purchase shoe boxes, or donation for the school to purchase maybe new plates for the learners for the nutrition program. And then we've also got there the people, stickmen, who look like they're going up a ladder, meaning that represents job creation. And also the local community, as you can see in the other image, it indicates that the local community is able to start their own businesses, develop their own entrepreneurial skills. And that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the existence of that attraction, that particular environment. So when we talk about the positive impact on the local community and the environments, we are actually referring to the fourth characteristic. So once an attraction has a positive impact on the local community and the environment, just know that that attraction is now successful. It is not excluding everyone. Everyone is benefiting from the existence of that particular attraction. Remember that tourism shouldn't only be about profits, shouldn't only be about money, but you should also consider the natural environments and the people, then worry about the profits. A good business or a good attraction also takes care of their environments. And then we've got the examination type of questions. These are the type of questions that you might be faced with when you are in the exam. Over here, guys, I've got the Tourism Examination Guideline 2017 screenshot. Remember that this particular question is assessed in section C, question 4, under tourism attractions. So I've put a circle that is emphasizing what I'm actually on today's lesson, that you should be in a position to analyze from given case studies, scenarios, extracts. The learners must be able to link and apply their knowledge to the factors and characteristics that contribute to a successful attraction or icon. Remember, I said that maybe they might ask it based on icons, or they might ask it as attractions, World Heritage Sites as attractions. So just be flexible when it comes to that. Ne? Just know that factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction can maybe be asked using icons or other attractions, and the characteristics may also be asked or assessed using other icons or attractions. Then I've got an example of a question, 4.2. So guys, you know that when you're in the exam room, ne, when you see this case study, you must read. Reading is important. Ne? The Eiffel Tower to stay safe with glass. The Eiffel Tower is one of the most successful tourist attractions in France. Paris has increased security around its most popular attractions following recent terrorist attacks in the city. Currently, the Eiffel Tower has metal barriers around its base as a security measure to prevent further terrorist attacks. The metal barriers do not look attractive in the photographs taken by tourists. French authorities are planning to remove the metal barriers at the front of the Eiffel Tower and replace it with permanent and bulletproof glass walls. The rest of the metal barriers will be replaced with more attractive fencing. Remember what ma'am always says, in the exam you read your case study for the first time, you go and read your questions for the first time, and you go back and read for the second time. Questions and marking guidelines, 4.2.1. Give one reason why the French authorities want to replace the existing barriers with at the Eiffel Tower with bulletproof glass walls to prevent the terrorist attacks and so on. But now let's see what our marking guideline says. Guys, remember that you need to be in a position to understand the question first. Once you understand the question, you also check the mark allocation. The mark allocation will guide you to the length of the answer that is expected from you. And remember what I said with case studies. You read them for the first time, you read the questions, and then you go back and read the case study again and attempt to answer the questions. So 4.2.1, they said one reason, and that one reason is that one is written in capital letters to emphasize that you need to just give one reason. Give one reason why the French authorities want to replace the existing barriers at the Eiffel Tower with bulletproof glass walls. So I would want to go back. You'll go back. This is you in the exam. You're going back now to check what actually was the main reason. And when we pick up They want to actually increase their security because of the recent terrorist attacks. So let's check, because our question wanted one. Let's check what our marking guideline says. The bulletproof glass will give better protection to tourists in the event of future terror attacks, or to upgrade the improve safety of the crime prevention safety at the attraction, to get rid of the metal barriers that obscures the view of the tower, to get better photo opportunities. The tower is one of the iconic structures in France that attracts many tourists and needs extra protection for aesthetical or attractive purposes. So maybe you mentioned, the first one would have been that maybe you mentioned that bulletproof glass to prevent terrorist attacks, or because of terrorist attacks, you would have been granted a mark, or to upgrade and improve safety. Can you see how now the factors actually come in, the factors contributing to the success of a tourist attraction? But guys, what I also want to emphasize is that when you're in the exam, or when you are practicing at home these particular questions and you look at the marking guideline, please do not be discouraged maybe when you pick up that, but my wording is not the same as in the marking guideline. That means I'll be marked incorrectly. No, your teacher, the markers, they know exactly what to look for when they are marking. They know how to link a learner's answer to maybe the other options that are here. So please do not worry about your wording so much, but as long as the point is transparent and it can be linked to a certain point on the marking guideline, that is what is important. So do not feel threatened or intimidated by the language that is used in these marking guidelines. 4.2.2, predict what could happen if management relaxes the existing safety measures at the tower. Meaning that if now the Eiffel Tower relaxes and they no longer ensuring that they have those barriers and so on, what could happen? So when they say predict, meaning tell what you foresee could happen if management relaxes, meaning no longer considers or makes safety their priority, relaxes the existing safety measures at the tower. And that is how many marks? 2 marks. So that guides the length of your answer. So the Eiffel Tower, being one of the most popular tourist attractions in Paris, could become the target for large-scale terror attacks with huge loss of life. Maybe you could say there would be an increase in terrorist attacks, or there could be a risk of loss in life, depending on what you said. But remember what I said about do not feel intimidated. Maybe in simple English, I would say you guys would say, you would have said at home, if the Eiffel Tower relaxes security measures, safety measures, there will be more terrorist attacks, or tourists would be in danger. Maybe you wrote something like that. The marker, your teacher, will be able to link as to your how your answer matches what is in the marking guideline. And then 4.2.3, identify one criterion that will ensure the continued success of the icon apart from ensuring safety at the Eiffel Tower. I love this question because now they're actually indirectly asking you about the factors that contribute to the success of a tourist attraction. So when they're talking about identify one other criterion, that criterion, they're actually referring to a factor. So in other words, in your mind, it should be playing as identify one other factor that will ensure the continued success of the icon apart from ensuring safety at the Eiffel Tower. So this could be maybe considering the people of needs with disabilities, not safety and crime prevention, but excellent marketing of tourism products locally and internationally, sustainable and responsible management plans, depending on the one that you remembered the most from the 8 factors. But let us just check what our marking guideline says. So you had to identify one. They said that continuous general international marketing of the attraction, general upkeep, making the tower accessible to people with special needs, allow opportunities for entrepreneurship around the tower, professional image of the staff, efficiency and ethical behavior of the staff, keeping the tower sustainable through good environmental management plans. When visitors leave the tower, they tower with a feeling of pleasure and satisfaction. If you look at the marking guideline, guys, you will see that maybe you feel now intimidated, but ma'am, some of them, they're not exactly as they were in the 8 factors. No, the marker will know how to link it, because when we talk about making the tower accessible to people with special needs, we know that we are actually referring to universal accessibility. When you allow opportunities for entrepreneurship around the tower, we know that we are actually referring to positive impact on the local community. And efficiency and ethical behavior of the staff is actually a factor. And sustainable and responsible management plans we also find here. So don't be intimidated by the language that you see. Then our second example of a question would be study the in 4.2, study the information below and answer the questions that follow. The Australians see the site as a celebrated icon and take pride in its natural beauty. To the Aborigines, indigenous people, it is a sacred site supporting them financially and spiritually. However, there is an issue of contention, meaning conflicts, between the Aborigines and other Australians over the use of the icon and the land surrounding it. The main reason is over permission being granted to climb the ancient sacred sites. The Aborigines have requested visitors not to climb the sacred sites, but this request has been ignored in favor of profits and the desire to reach the top of this magnificent icon. Climbing has eroded, worn away, parts of the rock. The lack of bins and proper regulations means tourists do whatever they like during the climb. In 2017, an average number of 400,000 tourists visited the national park, exceeding the targeted number of 300,000 tourists per year. Aborigines say they do not benefit from tourism. The resort, located near the icon, employs just one Aborigine out of a staff of 670 people. A lot is in this particular extract, a lot. First, you should have been in a position to identify the image on which icon is this extract based on. Now, I just want us to focus on the question that I have circled. It is 4.2.3. There's 4.2.1 where they say identify the icon in this article. You should be knowing that from icons. 4.2.2, name one other icon located in Australia. So just for the sake of quick, identify the icon in this article says the Ayers Rock. Name one other icon located in Australia. You should be thinking of Sydney Opera House. And then 4.2.3, this is my one that is actually testing the factors and the characteristics. Do you think the icon named in 4.2.1 is a successful tourist attraction? So when they say in 4.2.1, you already know that you are referring to Ayers Rock or Uluru. Give one reason for your answer. So do you think that the icon named in 4.2.1 is a successful tourist attraction? Is a successful tourist attraction. So now you will go back. This is you in the exam. Now you're going back to check. So your answer can fall in yes or no, but you cannot just say yes or no. Do you understand that, home guys? You can't just say yes or no. You need to provide a reason for your answer. Because the question says, do you think the icon named in question 4.2.1 is a successful tourist attraction? Give one reason for your answer. I would say no. Some of you might say yes, but then you need to attach a reason. So maybe some of you said yes. The visitor number exceeds the targeted numbers. It attracts tourists from all over the world who are interested in culture and heritage. Or you could have said no. And there are more pointers in the no. You could have said no because they don't have sustainable, responsible management plans in place. Because if you saw in the extract when you read it, you could see that it was a problem with the littering. There were no bins and so on. Tourists would do as they please, meaning that there weren't plans in place. The tourists disregard religious significance of the site. There is little focus on the general appearance and upkeep of the attraction, or there are no benefits for the indigenous people and on the environments. Maybe you would have said the local community does not benefit from the existence of the sites, especially in the extract where they spoke about that only just one Aborigine out of a staff of 670 people is employed, meaning that the local community does not benefit in terms of job creation. Please note, guys, when you're asked a question that says, do you think, you cannot just say yes or no. Your yes or no needs to be accompanied by a motivation or a reason. And then we have tips for the learners. These PowerPoint slides may be used in conjunction with your Tourism CAPS aligned textbook that is used in your school. You can use the Tourism Examination Guideline